Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another preview video, and this one is a matchup pitting the AFC Leopards against Kariobangi Sharks. Yes, AFC Leopards v Kariobangi Sharks, and this particular one is a welcome back to the Kenya Premier League after that international break. And of course, for many Kenyans out there, you're probably very disappointed about the result against Estonia. But be that as it may, the Premier League is still hotting up, and of course for the teams that have participated in the international scene, for the players, not the teams, for the players of teams that have participated in the international break representing their country, they are going to be given some time off. Those not necessarily the players, but the teams. So probably this weekend you will not see the likes of Gor Mahia featuring in the Kenya Premier League because of the extra bit of rest that the team is going to be given. But for AFC Leopards, for Kariobangi Sharks, who do not have any representation within the national setup, the match is coming up thick and fast. That is not my line. I think you have heard about things coming in thick and fast from somewhere else. But entering into this matchup, it will be match week 26 for AFC Leopards and match week 26 also for Kariobangi Sharks. Yes, of course, both teams hail from Nairobi, and FC Leopards, being the home team, is going into this particular matchup with a mixed bag of results when you're looking at the form table. For example, within the last 6 matches that have been played, 10 goals have been scored by FC Leopards, generating 4 wins and losing 2 matches in the process. And of course, when you try and recall the matches that FC Leopards has lost, then you will mention Mathare United and then go back to KCB. Yeah, you remember that matchup that ended in a 1-0 win for KCB. Yeah, so 0 draws in the process, and then overally in the 25 matches that have been played, 33 goals have been scored, generating 14 wins, 7 draws and 4 losses in general. And for Kariobangi Sharks, they are getting into this matchup off of the back of beating Shabana Football Club, and you remember that they came from behind 1-0 down to win that game 2-1, and of course goals scored by who was that? Razzle, and also did Aroko score? I remember Razzle very well because of how it was quite the way to score your first goal in the Kenya Premier League. So for them, in the last 6 matches, they have won 2. The last match being factored in, they have drawn 2 and they have lost 2. So that's a treble of results, win, draw, or losses. And they have scored 7 goals in the process. But overall, 25 matches played, they have generated 18 goals, which account for 5 wins, 10 draws and 10 losses. So that's quite a mixed bag of results. And of course, you can tell that the red side being so high, it's not really good for them. And in the process, the matches that they have played for AFC Leopards, of course, they beat Tusker FC 1-0, the goal courtesy of Beja. And then you have Nairobi United FC won 1-0, and then they lost to Mathare United 4-1. They beat Shabana FC 5-1. They beat KCB 1-0, and then they also beat Posta Rangers 2-1. They drew with Bandari away 0-0, and then they also beat Sofapaka 1-0. For Kariobangi Sharks, they lost to Posta Rangers. They won against Shabana 2-1. They lost to Tusker 2-1. They beat APS Bomet 1-0. They drew with Mathare United 1-1. They drew with KCB 1-1. They beat Ulinzi Stars a goal to nil, and then they also drew away to Bandari Football Club 0-0. And of course, what does this mean to the table currently? Not what does it mean. We will talk about what it means regarding the results, but as they enter into this match week 26, FC Leopards sit second on the log with 49 points. That is a whole 7 points behind league leaders Gor Mahia. And of course, when they do play, Gor Mahia will have a game in hand against FC Leopards. So should FC Leopards win, they reduce the gap to 4 points before Gor Mahia play. So of course you count points on the board over games in hand. And for Kariobangi Sharks, they sit 14th with 25 points. Yeah, it's like they get a point every match. So 25 points on 14th. That is how many points from the relegation zone? Because of course Ulinzi sits 16th. I think that's a playoff place. But when you look at the ones that would be automatically relegated, the ones that sit bottom two, APS Bomet, are on 19 points. So should Kariobangi Sharks even lose, if APS Bomet wins, then they do not get anywhere near Kariobangi Sharks. So they are a bit safe when you ask me. But should they win, they go on 28 points. And that is also considering that other results of teams around them, that's Bidco and Mathare United. If Bidco does not get full points, then what happens? They still remain in the same place. Should they win and Kariobangi Sharks lose, Bidco go above them. Just they switch positions. But should Kariobangi Sharks win, then on 28 points they'll climb above Mathare United, no, they will not climb above Mathare United. They'll just remain on the same spot, although with 2 points behind. And that is given Mathare United does not win that particular matchup. So it's a fight for everything for FC Leopards. For Kariobangi Sharks, of course, they do not have anything to lose in this particular matchup, but for AFC Leopards, they have everything to play for, because for them and for their fan base, they expect that they should be chasing for the league, and dropping any points at this particular position, and especially if they do drop points against Kariobangi Sharks, even the hardened FC Leopards fan would consider that the league is gone. And for many, they have been saying that probably by the time the Mashemeji Derby comes along, especially on the 26th, should it not be postponed, on the 26th of April 2026, then that derby should account for something, especially in the title race, and not just for bragging rights. Yeah, so for me, I am looking at a 2-0 AFC Leopards win, but of course those Kariobangi Sharks players are dangerous. Sometimes if you go and underestimate them, then they'll punish you. And FC Leopards really need to be clinical. That is something that I have seen with FC Leopards. They are not very clinical when they create chances. So they'll need to look at their offensive side, as Semo overlaps on that left-hand side. Maybe their partnership with Sichenje, it needs to account for something. And of course, Sichenje is one of those dangerous guys, especially on the flanks. For FC Leopards, if you press them in the middle, they'll just go wide. And for the wide players, of course, you have Kenyanjui and Sichenje. They are very tricky players to handle. Of course, Sichenje is tricky, and of course, he also has a bit of power within himself. Kenyanjui, on the other hand, is tricky, and he's also very he's not the fastest player you could have around, but if he's nullified, sometimes that right hand side becomes a bit weak. So we don't know what we expect to get from Kariobangi Sharks, but of course for them in the middle, the likes of Aroko can cause some bit of problems. And then also now you are seeing a player in Razol who can take out the entire defense and score a wonder goal. So they really need to be careful with him. So I don't know what your thinking is, what your thought is heading into that matchup. For me, I'm excited about it, and we hope to see a good matchup pitting the Leopards against the Sharks. Yes, so that's all we have for you in this particular video. We hope to see you in our live videos, in our in the videos that we post. And follow us on all our social pages. Links are always on the description below. Until next time, bye bye.